Fox Sports.
We are Sports. We are Southeast.
After a gray, dreary, rainy start, opening week will continue in New York under bright, sunny skies. Tonight, we play the third, final, and rubber game of our three-game series here at Citi Field, and the Braves will try to take 2 out of 3 from the Mets on their home field here in Flushing, New York. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark. Everything sunny side up for the Braves after an extra inning win last night. The hitting hero, Matt Kemp, who has played 1,400 or so big league games, Joe, but last night did something for only the second time as a big leaguer.
3 doubles last night, none of which were as big as the last one. And that came in the 12th inning when the Braves were trying to figure out a way to beat Jacob deGrom and the Mets. He had a big night. Hits off 3 different doubles off 3 different pitchers, including deGrom. But one of the things about this game-winning hit right here in the 12th inning is that it gives the Braves, as you said, a chance to win the series against the Mets, who have started Syndergaard, deGrom, and then Harvey tonight. That would be an amazing accomplishment if they can leave town with a series win. Here are the numbers for Matt Kemp as a Brave. They are, as we've been talking about, astonishing because of the contributions he's made and how he has rubbed off on everybody else.
So the Braves are very happy with how their offense looks right now, and they may get a big boost in the future. You may have missed the news earlier today. The Braves signed former Phillies slugger Ryan Howard to a minor league contract, and John Coppolella explained why earlier today.
It was something where he had a really good second half. He really hit well against right-handed pitching. He's a great makeup guy who's good with young kids. You know, if it works, it's great. If it doesn't, it's not a big league contract. It was just something that we thought would be good to where we could try to get that option and get better.
We know what Ryan Howard's done to the Braves. It'll be interesting to see what he can do for the Braves, perhaps.
A lot of it, like he said, had to do with what he did in the second half last year. 13 homers, 32 RBIs in 45 games. And a lot of that damage was against right-handed pitching. So the Braves thinking ahead, what do they got to lose? They could have a guy like Ryan Howard on the bench, perhaps, providing some power in a pinch hit role.
So Ryan Howard and his Braves future will be followed by everybody in Braves country. But tonight we worry about the present, and that is the debut of Jaime Garcia. He'll pitch for the Braves against Matt Harvey. Paul Bird will break down tonight's starting pitching matchup right after this.
Fight, the rubber match coming up right now. Matt Harvey, very excited to see him throw. And we got Jaime Garcia, who I'm even more excited to throw because the Braves have not had a left-handed pitcher pitch for them in almost 200 starts since Manny Benuelos way back when. But let's look at these numbers. Great pitchers right here. Jaime Garcia, as you can see, struggled a little bit late last season. Looking for him to bounce back. The key for him is going to be the changeup. He's going to throw the front door comebacker to righties. And then Matt Harvey with that right shoulder surgery. That was thoracic outlet syndrome where they removed a rib. Better blood flow in his fingers. He's hoping to get a little bit better feel for that slider that he struggled with last year. Very good stuff coming up, guys. And this is a game of adjustments. I've made my adjustment. I got a ski jacket. I'm ready to go here in New York. Braves Mets coming up next.
Is sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and SunTrust.
Clear but cold weather greets us in New York as we wrap up our series with the New York Mets. Braves won in extra innings last night. Matt Kemp had a big day at the plate. And the Braves bullpen, let's credit those guys. They were terrific as Atlanta evened up the series and a game apiece. One change for the Mets with a left-hander on the mound for Atlanta. Wilmer Flores gets the start for Lucas Duda at first base. And the Mets will welcome another member of their oft-injured rotation back from a disappointing season last year, and that's Matt Harvey, a very talented young right-hander.
28 years old, 6'4", 215 out of New London, Connecticut. Was a first-round pick by the Mets back in 2010. Good numbers in 2015, really good. And then last year got off to a pretty good start, but then that thoracic outlet syndrome issue where he had bad circulation in his right shoulder started really creeping in. He had surgery, as you see there, on July 18th and didn't pitch for the rest of the season. Only made 17 starts on the year, but he throws hard. He's got a fastball in the mid-90s, slider, 1 to 7 curveball, and as Paul Bird pointed out, a changeup too that he likes to work down and in. It will fade away from left-handers and fade down and into right-handers.
Matt Harvey looks trimmer than we've seen him in years past, doesn't he?
He does.
And here's the Braves Toyota starting lineup. He'll face in game 3 of the set. And it's the same Atlanta lineup that we saw on opening day. Of course, Jaime Garcia will pitch and bat ninth. It is miraculous we're playing tonight.
Absolutely it is. Wouldn't have given you a plug nickel at 4:30.
So here we go in game 3, and Ender Inciarte takes a called strike. Will Little is the man behind the plate. Ender looking for his first hit in the series. He's 3 for 9 lifetime against Harvey, and a fly ball hit down the right field line. Long run, Bruce. He's going to get there near the line, and that's how the ball game starts. Inciarte's retired, 4 out, number 1.
One of the things they're hoping for Matt Harvey is a return of velocity. 2015, he went from an average of about 96 miles an hour down to 95.1, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, because his contact percentage really went up over that stretch too.
Dansby grounds the first pitch to short, and Cabrera makes short work of the Braves shortstop. 2 out. Well, we've talked a lot about how veteran players in spring training, you don't worry too much about their numbers. I would guess, Joe, the Mets were very concerned with Matt Harvey's spring numbers coming off the injury that he had last year. He didn't win a game this spring, and his ERA was approaching 6 down in Florida.
Yeah, it was pretty rough and a little scary for the Mets in terms of his comeback. He made a start against the Braves on March 26th, went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, and everybody was claiming that his fastball was very straight.
That would split the plate for Freddie Freeman, who is 3 for 9 in the series.
But had a rare 0 for 5 here last night. Snapped a 12-game hitting streak at Citi Field, and a lot of it was upstairs and hard away.
Line to second, and Matt Harvey has a successful and easy first inning return in New York. Garcia is set to make his Braves debut.
And for Jaime, 30 years old, 6'2", 215, out of Mission, Texas. His claim to fame, ground balls. Last year, only Marcus Stroman had a higher percentage of ground ball outs. Garcia right at 58%, highest in the National League, second in the big leagues. And if there's one thing for Jaime Garcia, it's that he's got to pay attention to the first inning. His 4 keys to pitching success, it is the first inning. Last year in 30 starts, he gave up 26 runs. He had a 7.8 ERA in the first inning and a 364 average against him. He wants to get off to a better start than that tonight.
Which means controlling Reyes, Cabrera, and Yoenis Cespedes, the first 3 Mets hitters.
Absolutely. And Jay Bruce, who's off to a hot start. Bruce has seen him a lot in the National League Central.
Reyes does not yet have a hit in the series. He's 0 for 9 and has struck out 4 times in the first 2 games. And with that first pitch, Jaime Garcia becomes the first man pitching left-handed to start for the Braves in almost 200 games. The last Braves left-handed starter was Manny Banuelos in September of 2015. That seems almost impossible. Sky toward right center. Markakis is going to dive. An odd route, but he got there for the first out.
Well, what a great recovery. But he's soaking wet, too. There's just nothing but standing water in the outfield all afternoon. That ball was slicing back to him. He had to cut back to his left a little bit. As you said, altered his route just a little bit, but a great catch.
So Nick Markakis with a Gold Star defensive effort. He's in right, Ciarte's in center, Kemp in left. Standard alignment around the horn with Tyler Flowers back behind the plate. Asdrubal Cabrera is the Mets shortstop. He's had a good series. He's 3 for 9. Another pop. This time Brandon Phillips should make the play, and he does for the second out. And here's the rest of Terry Collins' Mets lineup presented by Toyota. The Rays have held Cespedes in check so far. Wilmer Flores gets a start at first base for Lucas Duda. But still plenty of thunder with Granderson, Walker, and Bruce. Travis d'Arnaud and Matt Harvey hit 8th and 9th.
Jaime Garcia has demonstrated on that last pitch to Cabrera when he sawed him off as an excellent cutter. Fastball that bores in on the hands of right-handed hitters.
We saw Jaime Garcia at arguably his best last year. He beat the Braves 1-0 in St. Louis and drove in the game's only run while pitching for the Cardinals. But the problem for Jaime Garcia, unfortunately for him, he too has not been able to stay healthy. He's had Tommy John surgery. He's had left shoulder surgery. And like Matt Harvey, he too has had the thoracic outlet surgery in his major league career.
Yeah, it's really cut into his numbers. Beginning his 9th year in the big leagues, though.
1 ball, 1 strike for Cespedes. And caught a corner at the knees. Well hit toward left center. Ciarte on the run is going to get there shy of the track. And Jaime Garcia has a 1-2-3 first in his Atlanta debut. Matt Kemp leads off the Atlanta second. We're underway in New York. No score.
Here at Citi Field, 3 teams over 30 days with the Braves, Hawks, and Atlanta United all month long. April in the ATL is presented by Cook's Pest Control. Matt Kemp had a big night for the Braves last night. 3 doubles, his second career 3-double game in the big leagues.
3 different pitchers, and the curious thing about all of that to me was the game winner came against a pitcher that he was seeing for the second time, and typically you don't see a relief pitcher, especially in extra innings, twice.
Little pop behind first. Wilmer Flores, foul ground, and neither he nor Bruce can get there. And Kemp is behind 0-2.
And Wilmer was looking for some help on this all the way. It's cold and damp. It's not frigid. I think the wind has died down a little bit, but it is uncomfortable.
One ball, 2 strikes from Harvey, who got the Braves in order in the top of the first. Markakis and Brandon Phillips will follow. Matt Kemp. Fly ball center. And that's retired. 1 up, 1 down. And I'm guessing Ben Acree applied the Scotch Guard liberally to Nick Markakis' uniform.
He might have. But the slicing effect really helped here. You give Nick a chance to track it down. Appreciation of Mr. Garcia.
A little cue shot. Tough play for Harvey. Bare hand, but off target to first, and Nick Markakis has an infield hit, the first of the game. And he's aboard in front of Brandon Phillips.
He'll take it. Off to a rough start at the plate, 1 for 9 with 6 strikeouts. That one hit a triple last night that was instrumental in the Braves' first run. But anything to get going, even a little cue shot.
And that will bring up Brandon Phillips, who is our Zaxby's indescribable good play feature.
I didn't know about this until today. Every game he's ever played against the Mets in his career on the road, he's had a hit.
We're told the only man with a longer streak than that of Brandon Phillips was the great Joe Medwick, who hit in 46 consecutive road games against the Dodgers at Ebbets Field. And that streak is even more impressive because when Brandon Phillips played for the Reds, he'd come to New York 1 time a year. It's not like he was racking up 8 or 9 or 10 games in a single season.
No, and that lends itself to another part of his longevity. At just 3 games a year, 35 straight games tells you how long he's been around.
Even count for Phillips, a ball and a strike. Back to the mound. Harvey to second for 1, and he starts the double play. Pretty play by the Mets right-hander. Phillips doubled up. Braves are done in the second, still scoreless. Field in New York, game 3 of our 3-city road trip. We continue our trek to SunTrust Park, presented by Georgia Drive Chevy. Quick turnaround after the game tonight. Day game in Pittsburgh tomorrow afternoon. Night game Saturday, day game Sunday. Off on Monday, then 2 with the Marlins down in Miami before we open up SunTrust Park against the Padres April 14th.
5 3-city road trips.
I think 4, to start. Maybe 4 to start.
5 of the first 8. Don't know if I've ever been involved in anything like that. Get him out of the way, I guess.
You bet. Wilmer Flores leads off the second for New York. And Wilmer takes the ball. Flores, a man without a position, the way the Mets lineup is constructed right now. Like any player worth his salt, he'd like to play every day. The value of Flores, he could play anywhere on the infield for you. And he's going to play a lot for Terry Collins. Tonight with a left-hander on the mound, he's at first base for Lucas Duda.
He may not have his own position, but he's got a solid spot on this ball club because he can hit.
Two balls and a strike. That's a good fastball. Both Garcia and Bartolo Colon have had good fastballs in the last 2 games for the Braves. Sharply hit, and Adonis Garcia picked it and threw it across the diamond to get Wilmer Flores.
Nice pick by Freddie on the other side too, but my goodness, that was a rope. Went to one knee to try to play it on the hop. Terrific play.
Curtis Granderson, the batter. Lefty-lefty matchup here for Jaime Garcia.
Left-handers hit 246 against Jaime last year, 273 for right-handers. Gave up 26 homers, but only 4 to left-handers.
And Granderson on the appeal at third. is rung up. So the count, a ball and a strike. And that one floats over the inside corner.
Good hook.
Line past Dansby up the middle. So there's the first Mets hit. Curtis Granderson with a bullet up the middle with one out.
Backed up the breaking ball with another one, but left this one up in the zone and gave Granderson a chance to get after it.
Neil Walker's the New York second baseman.
Told you about Garcia's ability to get ground balls 58% of the time, first in the National League there. He was also fifth in double plays induced, and that was with 21 of them.
Walker's 0 for 8 in the series. And his count now, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was his changeup. Turned it over a little bit to get it to go down and away from right-handed hitters, but too far off the plate.
There's the ground ball. Phillips at second for 1. The throw to first in time. And Jaime Garcia gets the ball on the ground, gets his first double play as a Brave. And we head to the 3rd inning. No score in New York. Reds beat the Phillies, who will host the Mets in New York's next series. And Harvey has thrown strike one to each of the first 7 Braves hitters so far tonight. Adonis Garcia, Tyler Flowers, and Jaime Garcia are coming up.
You're right about him being a trimmer too. Harvey looks like he's really certainly not as thick as we're used to seeing him through his torso.
There's a liner toward right center, but Granderson gets there for the first out. Well, Matt Harvey in his early days as a Met, a terrific young star, made the All-Star game in 2013. He was the Sporting News Comeback Player of the Year in 2015. He had the swagger. He was the alpha dog on this Mets starting staff. Then he got hurt. And I think it's safe to say, Joe, that he's pitching in the 3rd spot in their rotation because DeGrom and Syndergaard maybe have passed him by. My question is that going to be maybe the best thing that happened for Matt Harvey in his career here?
It could be, you know, all the expectations, some of them that he brought on himself when he first got here and was very strong the way he pitched. But he certainly endorsed New York in a very strong way. Took advantage of what it had to offer.
Sure.
That may have contributed to some of his slide, but the injuries, there's just nothing you can do about that. And they're hoping he can bounce back one more time.
He just struck out Tyler Flowers, his first punch out since coming back. And quickly 2 are out for Jaime Garcia. Well, make no mistake about it, the Mets are built one of 2 ways. One, they're going to slug a lot of home runs. And number 2, they have overwhelmingly good starting pitching. That starting pitching, though, has to stay healthy. And right now, it's even in the first days of the season, got a few dings and dents already.
Well, but that's why I said if the Braves can get out of here winning 2 out of 3 against their top 3 pitchers, that is really an accomplishment.
Good cut by Garcia. He's down a strike.
Matt Kemp made a very telling observation last night, given his game-winning hit. He said, you know, when you face these guys with these starting pitchers, you just got to hang in there. You got to grind it a little bit. Braves didn't get a run off of Syndergaard. They didn't get a run off DeGrom. And last night they got the runs off the bullpen. So it was basically saying you just got to keep hacking, keep grinding, and then if you can get into their bullpen, then maybe you've got a chance to score some runs and win a game, and that's what they did.
Fly ball toward left. Cespedes on the run. Near the line. Gets there. And Matt Harvey has faced the minimum through 3 scoreless innings. Jay Bruce, a Jaime Garcia nemesis, leads off for New York. Today to secure your seats for your favorite theme nights and gate giveaways during the inaugural season at SunTrust Park. You don't want to miss Star Wars Night, Bartolo Colon Bobblehead Night, and many, many more. Visit Braves.com/promotions for all the details. Cold night in New York, but Jay Bruce is off to a hot start this season for the New York Mets. This is what he did, Joe, in Game 2.
Yeah, he hit a pretty good pitch down. May not have even been a strike. And he golfed it out right off the top of the fence in right field last night. And also mixed in a double last night, late in the ball game.
I think it's safe to say that Jay Bruce had a disappointing stint with the Mets after the trade deadline last year. But still, between Cincinnati and New York, 33 homers and 99 runs batted in.
Well, and he was one of the keys, one of the 4 keys for Jaime Garcia tonight, and because he has seen him so often. 49 at bats. This is his 50th career at bat against Garcia. After they see each other a lot in the NL Central. 11 for 49 with a homer.
After strike one, the Braves infield shifts with Dansby Swanson on the first base side of second. And Bruce skies one toward Kemp in left. There's out number 1. Travis d'Arnaud 1 for 4 in the series. They're working on d'Arnaud's swing. They're working on his defensive action behind the plate. Glenn Sherlock is the Mets third base coach and their new catching instructor. We'll see how that plays out this year. As Garcia pops over another strike.
Yeah. Done a good job of getting ahead of hitters himself.
Right off the thumbs and fouled away.
And with that cutter, he can pitch down in the zone with his sinker and changeup, and get away with pitching upstairs at 90 with the cutter. It can bite in on them where they can't get around on it. Here's his arsenal. Already a couple of curveballs tonight to left-handers. Granderson with a base hit, Bruce with a flyout.
Base is empty, 1 out, 3rd inning for New York. And a cue shot out toward Phillips at second. Easy play for Brandon. And d'Arnaud is retired. And here comes Matt Harvey.
Good changeup.
Well, I think we're already seeing in the first couple of games, with the addition of Bartolo Colon and Jaime Garcia, a difference in this Braves starting rotation. Obviously, they're veteran guys, but you see they know how to pitch. Hitting spots, changing speeds, amping up the velocity when they need it, not max effort with every pitch.
That's what it was all about. That's why the Braves went out and got these guys. They know how to pitch. They know what it takes.
Sharply hit, Dansby dives. Great play. Low throw, then Freddie scoops it first. So Matt Harvey shoots one to short. Dansby Swanson with a diving stop. A 7-pitch frame for Garcia. And a Dansby dandy in Game 3 in New York. He's coming up second in the 4th inning. Braves and Mets, no score. Chip with you tonight. Paul Bird. I believe Paul has a coat tonight.
He has a coat. He's got a sweatshirt. He's got long underwear. I don't know about a hat and gloves, but we'll check on him. And he's got a place to work out down there, try and stay warm.
Perfect. So
jumping jacks, run laps around the camera well.
It's cold and flu season, you know, Paul. We got to have you 100% for the home opener on April 14th.
See, when you get all that gear on, put your IFB on, your earpiece. Got to make a few adjustments. It's okay. Whatever it takes to stay warm.
Well, let's see if Ender can break into the hit column. He flied out down the right field line to start the game for the Braves. And Harvey's ahead of him, 0-2. We were talking about the weather conditions here last night. Much windier. I don't know if it's colder on the field tonight as opposed to last night, but you made an interesting observation about how the cold and how the wind affects a player other than the obvious. As Flores has an easy play at first. And Ender is 0 for 2 tonight.
Well, you've already got a lot of adrenaline flowing through you for the ball game, but as the game wears on, especially going extra innings and the temperature's really plummeting, I mean, you begin to shiver. And that begins to tire you out when you're trying to figure out a way to stay warm, and especially in the outfield when you're just kind of standing around a lot. You got to keep moving around, because you start shivering, and with that adrenaline, you'll be surprised how tired you get.
And Harvey might take this sequence personally after Dansby robbed him of a hit at the bottom of the 3rd inning. This is going to feel like Miami Beach compared to what we're going to be facing here in Pittsburgh the next couple of days. Forecast at PNC Park tomorrow is awful. Hearing snow for the Braves and Pirates tomorrow.
I love the smell of snow in the morning.
As our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot features Dansby's work against the Mets here. And because the weather forecast is so dicey, the Braves have changed up their pitching rotation. That's the other bit of news today. R.A. Dickey was supposed to go in tomorrow afternoon's game. The Braves, though, have moved R.A. back a day for game 2 of the series.
There are some other pluses to that. I mean, if it's to protect R.A., certainly that's a good reason. But if you got a guy out there throwing 95 to 98 on a frosty day, advantage Fulton-Evans.
And that's who's getting the ball in game 4 against the Pirates. First pitch at 105. R.A. Dickey will pitch against the aptly named Chad Kuhl in game 2. And then Julio Teheran and Garrett Cole. And then we head to Miami for a 2-game set beginning next Tuesday. Little pop into shallow right. Bruce read it well. Let's go outfielder, folks. And Dansby's out, number 2.
Nothing really squared up yet. Freeman hit a line drive to second to end the first inning, but everything else is pretty much off the end of the bat. Check swings. Adonis Garcia hit the ball sharply to center, but he and Freddie, that's about it.
Nobody's gotten very far ahead of Matt Harvey yet, have they? That's the first pitch ball he's thrown to a Brave hitter tonight.
Freddie's success, even though it's really good against the Mets, it's been limited against Harvey. 3 for 19 with 5 strikeouts.
That one's squared up, but Harrison and Freddie play it perfectly. And And it's another 3 up, 3 down for Matt Harvey, who's retired 7 straight and has allowed just 1 hit.
Nothing. Yeah, we got a pitching matchup going on. And how about Jaime Garcia talking to Tyler Flowers before the game? He said, Paul, his strikeout pitches can be his curveball or his slider, but his most important pitch, as far as his opinion, is the changeup. It gets everybody out on that front foot. We saw the ground ball to second base. If he stays down in the zone and cannot throw the ball straight, the Mets will be in for a long night. We'll see what happens. Guys, back to you.
Hey, Paulie, how's that fog that's rolling in now? Is it wet? Is it just fog?
Not too bad down here. It is rolling in, but you can still see the baseball. Not as bad as it probably looks on the monitor, so I think we're okay. It is getting windy and cold down here, which can affect the pitchers at times, so we'll see.
Well, Jaime Garcia, as Joe mentioned, at times has had trouble retiring leadoff men. So far, he's retired all 3 leadoff men for the Mets, including Reyes to start the game. And that's high. 2 balls and a strike.
Another good changeup.
I could just hear Tom Glavine shouting, yes! With that changeup dancing toward the plate. Right off his hands, and Brandon Phillips retires Reyes. Can't wait to see Tommy. He's going to join us for the Braves National Series, the second series to be played at SunTrust Park.
I think he'll be there, though, on the 14th.
Correct.
For all the pomp and circumstance.
He wouldn't miss that in the world. No. Anybody likes pomp and circumstances, Tom?
Oh, no question. When you said he was saying yes, I was torn between whether or not he was praising Garcia or just thrilled that Chris brought him another cookie. Could have been either one.
Here's Cabrera. He popped out his first time up. Like we have said pretty much all series long for the starting pitchers, or from the starting pitchers, from an offensive player standpoint, there's nothing for the hitters to eliminate for either one of these guys tonight yet.
They're very sharp. It's good to see.
I think Jaime wanted that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. As our buddy Larry Anderson of the Phillies has said so many times of the man behind the plate, he truly has at times a will little strike zone.
Yes, indeed.
Nope. 3 balls and a strike now. Rain's wreaking havoc in Washington. Washington leads Miami 1-0, but they're in a delay now at Nationals Park. Little pop. Markakis, though, is going to get there in right. 2 outs. Nice comeback for Garcia to retire Cabrera on a 3-1 pitch.
Neither one of these guys messing around. They get the ball back from the catcher, get their sign and pitch. Some of that may have to do with the weather and the fact that it's chilly out there, but nobody kicking around on the mound.
Cespedes 1 for 9 in the series, 0 for 6 career against Garcia.
We've always complimented the Cardinals and their ability to find some diamonds in the rough in their scouting department and late draft choices that develop into big leaguers, and Garcia's one of those. He was a 22nd round draft pick out of Mission, Texas. Born in Mexico, raised in Texas, graduated from Mission High School.
And when your organization can do that, you know you're going to get 1st round picks, 2nd round picks, but when those late round guys blossom like Garcia, go on quite a roll. Sharply hit, and Adonis can't get it. That's going to roll toward the corner, and Cespedes is going to have a 2-out double. That's the 2nd Mets hit of the game.
And I believe it was a changeup that stayed up a little bit where he could get to it. Yeah. Had a lot of the plate above the knees and actually under the arm of Adonis, who kind of overshot it, but it was hit hard.
So the first scoring chance of the game. Wilmer Flores, the batter. He hit that missile at Garcia to start the 2nd. Adonis threw him out at first. Stop. So Cespedes 90 feet away. That's called a wild pitch, but Tyler with a backhanded try couldn't get in front of the baseball.
That was a cutter, and he was just kind of chasing it. It was moving so much. We'll work out of the windup now.
One ball, 1 strike. I think it'll be interesting to see what position Wilmer Flores finally settles into with this Mets ball club. They have some big time decisions to make with regards to David Wright, who's still out with neck problems, the back problems. Had a shoulder impingement this spring. Wasn't even able to throw the baseball down at Port St. Lucie. He was here on opening day taking batting practice, but still no timetable for the Mets captain to return.
Boy, what a good curveball there. 75-mile-an-hour hook.
Jammed it. Tricky spin for Freeman at first. He makes the play, and Garcia gets out of the Mets 4th.
Another cutter in on the hands.
We're through 4 in Gotham. Part of the order coming up for Atlanta. Actually, it's City Field in New York.
And the temperatures, I mean, it's not brutal. It's just so wet, damp, foggy, and windy. And compared to the way it was earlier today, the wind has really laid down quite a bit.
So Matt Harvey goes to work in his 5th inning. He's only thrown 36 pitches now, 28 strikes. Remember, he was 11 for 11 in first pitch strikes to the Braves hitters until he got to Freddie Freeman last inning. Swing and a drive. That's hammered left center field by Matt Kemp. That ball is way out of here. A mammoth home run for Matt Kemp.
That's a home run over the original wall back there in deep left center. And it was a fastball. He fell behind in the count. Harvey tried to throw one by him. Right down Broadway, and he hit it to Broadway. Up there above the M&Ms.
So the Braves have taken a 5th inning lead on Matt Kemp's first homer of the year. And now Nick Markakis is the batter. I think it's safe to say Matt Kemp is enjoying his trip to New York. 4 doubles and now a home run in the 3-game series.
Well, for those of you that were with us during one of our spring training games, we talked about how Kevin Seitzer, even though Matt was having a poor average in spring training, he was working a lot on trying to hit the ball to right center, and Kevin Seitzer kept reminding him, that's fine, but don't forget how to pull the ball. We need you to pull the ball and hit it out of the ballpark. I'd say the last 2 nights would be evidence that he hasn't forgotten. Harvey only gave up 8 home runs last year in 92 innings, and I think he ended his season on a run of homerless innings, like close to 40 innings.
Yeah, 39 1/3. So that ends here tonight in the top of the 5th inning with Kemp's solo shot. And for Harvey, last year, lowest run support of any qualifying starting pitcher of 90 innings or more. His club's been shut out through 4 so far tonight. And believe it or not, in the New York newspapers after 2 games, some of the columnists and writers are saying the Mets are already wasting brilliant pitching with an anemic offense. It's 2 games. Good fastball. Markakis down swinging. Second Harvey punch out of the game. 1 out. Now the chance for Brandon to extend that 35-game road hitting streak against the Mets. The 2nd inning double play, his first time up.
He's got such a, I don't know how to describe his bat waggle, such an aggressive one. Sometimes you could get lulled to sleep thinking there's no way he's really going to swing. He's got to be taking here. It's so apparent.
I would think he lulls a fastball pitcher into thinking there's no way he can be on time with that fastball.
Right.
But Brandon's got some home run pop. And this time he rolls it foul.
But if you notice that bat waggle keeps him loose up there, but when the pitcher's getting ready to release it, it stops. He's got his hands in a good place.
To short, Cabrera. And there's the second out. In his younger days, Brandon Phillips was a 30 home run man one year for the Reds. Dating back to 2004, the only season in which Brandon Phillips didn't have double digits in home runs was 2014, when he played 121 games with Cincinnati. 11 homers last year, 12 in 2015. And he was in the 18 range, 20 a couple times. Of course, the big year, the 30 and 94 year.
How many career home runs?
Coming into this season, he is 3 away from 200, 197 of them. Two balls and a strike for the Braves third baseman Adonis Garcia. 1-0 Atlanta. Matt Kemp has led off with a solo homer.
That wasn't a very good changeup, but it was bad enough that Adonis couldn't get to it.
Heaviest workload for Harvey so far tonight. And now he's run the count full.
These guys do not like to throw fastballs to Adonis Garcia. Let's see what he does here. 3-2.
Poke to first, knocked down by Wilmer Flores, and that is the end of the inning. Matt Kemp has hit his first home run of the season on no doubter into the seats in left center on a cold night. After 4.5, Jaime Garcia has been given a 1-0 lead in Game 3. Nothing lead through 4.5 innings. He'll take a peek at Granderson Walker and Jay Bruce for the Mets.
He looks sharp. Getting a lot of ground ball outs. Breaking some bats with that cutter. So far, so good.
Curtis Granderson singled on a curveball back in the second inning. That's one of 2 hits for New York. first from Jaime is upstairs. Want to wish all the Braves minor league affiliates good luck. Many of them start their season tonight. Max Fried starting at AA against Jacksonville this evening. As Granderson hits one off the end of the bat toward Markakis. And there's the first out. Aaron Blair started for Gwinnett tonight against Durham. Luis Gohara starting for the Kissimmee Fire Frogs.
Need somebody to tell us what a fire frog is.
And Bryce Wilson got the opening day assignment for the Rome Braves tonight.
The Mets have a team, the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. What is a rumble pony?
I don't have an answer to that.
It's kind of like Fire Frog. People are just making up animals for mascots.
Well, the Mets have a team called the Columbia Fireflies.
Okay, well,
we know what a firefly
yeah,
is.
yeah,
right. They have a pretty prominent player on that Columbia team. The player's name is Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow has hit a home run for the Columbia Fireflies.
How about that place went berserk? What are the chances we're going to see that on the big screen here tonight?
Might.
Pretty strong, huh?
Yep. 2 quick strikes for Neil Walker, who singles to right on an 0-2 pitch.
Talked about Jaime Garcia needing to make good pitches on Jay Bruce, and he did his first time around back in the 3rd inning. What I want you to see here on these pitch tracks: 91 fastball, 81 curveball. 10-mile-an-hour difference on those 2 pitches. Had him out on his front foot a little bit and an easy pop-up.
So Bruce now 11 for 50 against Garcia, who's got 1 double play ball tonight. He'd like another. Shift on for Bruce. 3 defenders on the right side of the Braves infield. Ball 1. Bruce was asked very succinctly after game 1, when he walked 3 times, what his approach is going to be for the Mets this year. And he said, I'm going to keep it simple. The difficulty for him going from Cincinnati into the heat of a pennant race with the Mets last year, and all the expectations of New York at this stage in his career, I'm sure wasn't an easy thing. And it was an open question as to whether or not he was going to be a Met at the start of this season.
Yeah, he was trying way too hard. We saw that at the end of the year. He was trying to hit every pitch out of the ballpark, try to make up for some lost ground.
This guy's a good player, a real good player.
Yeah, but before it's all said and done, they may be very glad they didn't move him in the offseason.
Walker a very short lead at first. 2 balls and a strike for the Mets right fielder Jay Bruce. And it's evened up. A 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
A little inconsistent with that breaking ball, especially in an effort to not make a mistake with it early in the count to Granderson, and in that one he overthrows it a little bit, tries to throw it a little too hard, trying to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. Full count here. Let's see what he tries. Sign indicated fastball.
Walker's not running, and the fastball missed. Now the Mets have 2 aboard and 1 out. That's the first base on balls from either starter tonight. And here's the 8th place hitter, Travis d'Arnaud.
Didn't walk that many guys last year. 57 walks, 171 innings. strikeouts. But again, his thing is ground balls, and he needs one here.
That's what d'Arnaud gave him in the third inning, a ground ball to second. Retired the Mets catcher. 1 for 5 in the series. Strike one. d'Arnaud was originally a Philly. Went to Toronto in the Roy Halladay deal before the 2010 season. That's headed for the gap, and that's trouble. 1 run's going to score. Here comes Bruce around third. They're going to wave him. There will be no play, and the Mets have taken a 2-1 lead. So d'Arnaud doubles home a pair, and New York has grabbed a 1-run advantage.
Curveball, and one that just floated up there, stayed up in the zone. Even if you're out in front of it a little bit, when it's up like that, you can jump on that hanger.
So Matt Harvey's the hitter. He was robbed by Swanson back in the third. 2-1 New York. Fly ball to right, and there'll be no advance. 2 away. And back to the top, Jose Reyes. Tyler Flowers out for a quick visit. Pulled toward Garcia at third, and Adonis makes the toss across in time to retire the side. A single, a walk, and a double has given Matt Harvey the lead. Travis d'Arnaud does the damage, and we head to the 6th. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Only T-Mobile lets you stream, post, and share all things MLB. With T-Mobile One, unlimited data means unlimited baseball. Well, Joe, we've got the best fans in Braves country of any major league club. We've got an answer to what in the world a rumble pony is.
Okay, great. Can't wait. I'm serious.
Oh, okay.
I really am.
Okay, Mary Chandler lets us know that the Binghamton Rumble Ponies name is a tribute to the Triple Cities carousel heritage. The Binghamton Rumble Ponies is a herd of fierce horses that no carousel center pole can contain.
Aha.
So there you go.
It's like they just rampage right off the carousel.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly right.
All right.
So there's your answer. As Tyler Flowers, Jaime Garcia, and Ender Inciarte go to work for the Braves in the 6th. Matt Harvey now staked to a 2-1 lead. He's fired a 2-hitter at Atlanta so far in the game. High hopper toward Cabrera. Ball stayed down on him, but he stayed with it. 1 out.
Brent Snitker wanted to make it clear that the start last night by Suzuki was not because of the play on opening day when Tyler Flowers had that play at the plate. He said it was due to scheduling and fear of rainouts and bad weather in Pittsburgh. They wanted to get Suzuki in there. He said he did have a talk with Tyler, however, about that play and got his perspective on it. But he said, I think you'll see Tyler take throws in the outfield in a more conventional fashion going forward.
Garcia flied out his first time and takes ball 1 high. They're back underway in Washington. 7th inning. Nationals 1. Marlins nothing. Gio Gonzalez and Tom Kohler are the pitchers in that game tonight.
Yeah, Adam Eaton hit his first homer as a Nat.
Marlins got some good news today in that they think Martin Prado, who's been out with a hamstring problem, might be back by the time the Braves get to Marlins Park. And that series starts Tuesday night. A strike to Garcia. 1-2 to the Braves pitcher. Flores at first. Easy play. 5 in a row retired by Harvey after the Matt Kemp homer. Let's check in with Paul.
Well, guys, I really like Harvey after the thoracic outlet syndrome where they release, they take a rib out top of the neck where it's compressing on the nerves and blood flow. Last year he had trouble holding on to his slider, and what I see tonight really impresses me. He's easy like Sunday morning. It's like he's throwing a bullpen. He used to be a max effort guy, 97, 98. Now he has taken it down a notch, kind of like the golfer when he realizes it's not what club you use. We're just going to take a nice, easy swing, taking the ego out of it. Been very, very successful. And again, this is what you got to do to pitch for a long time.
Now, the ball's coming out of his hand nicely, Paul, with that smooth delivery of his too. So working on those mechanics certainly helped. Time off helped. Made the All-Star team in 2013, just before issues with the elbow that led to Tommy John surgery.
How about that pitch and swing?
Took some off. Geared up for big 90s fastball and fadeaway.
Skied towards Cespedes in left. Easy play. Shutdown inning for Harvey, who has a 1-run lead after 5.5.
Over the Braves, 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th. How about our new lefty, Jaime Garcia? We're going to watch a pitch sequence here to Cabrera. And guys, what I like so much about him is he has options. You see the high fastball at 92. Coming back with the curveball outside corner, tries to take a little more off. That one's high. Tease him. Now watch this. 92 in on the hands. Guys, he's working in, out, changeup. His ball is moving. He has a slider, curve, changeup, sinker. This guy can pitch. I know he's behind, but I like what we see out of Jaime Garcia in his first outing in a Braves uniform. Back to you.
Me too, Paul. Last inning, though, an 0-2 hit to Walker and then a walk set up the 2-run double by d'Arnaud. So some bad luck on the 0-2 pitch. Kind of got that going.
And now the 2-3-4 hitters coming up for the Mets as Drupal Cabrera gets it started. That's hammered out of play. Right side. It's well out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 23 homers for Cabrera last year. 22 of them while he played shortstop. That's a Mets shortstop record. And they hit 218 home runs last season, a team record. Left side. Adonis can't cut it off. Dansby's got it. Strong throw. And he got his man for the first out.
Normally your third baseman's going to take anything he can get to. I don't know if Dansby was talking to Adonis there to tell him he had it, but if you're the third baseman, keep running and get out of the shortstop's way. If you can't get to it, get out of his throwing lane. Crossover step there by Adonis trying to get to it. Couldn't. You got to keep going and move.
8 ground ball outs for Garcia. And Cespedes the batter with a double and a fly out to center. Cespedes is a native of Cuba, 31 years old on opening day.
He's about the same age as Adonis, who's also from Cuba. And when Cespedes got to third base earlier tonight, in the fourth inning, they were having a nice conversation over there, catching up.
Cespedes broke in with the A's in 2012, hit 23 homers for Oakland that year. Boston, Detroit, and now the Mets, his other big league stops.
Tremendous bat speed. He's a really strong guy. That's obvious. But boy, oh boy, does the barrel of that bat get through there.
31 homers for Cespedes in 132 games last year. And 86 RBIs. And the Mets locked him up through the 2020 season, a 4-year deal. And he coaxes a 1-out walk. Jaime bounced that ball. That's his second free pass of the game. Here's Flores, who's rolled out twice.
I may kick the dirt too after this pitch. Aggravated that he didn't make a good enough pitch to get him to chase it.
Wilmer Flores, another injured Met last year. He played in 103 games, hurt his wrist sliding into the plate on September 10th, and he underwent surgery to remove the hook of the hamate bone in his right wrist during the offseason.
That was against the Braves, I think. A.J. Przinsky.
And Flores had some injury problems early in the season with a hamstring problem. He's a good-looking player too, Joe. Back-to-back seasons with 16 home runs and part-time duty.
He can hit. He can hit a fastball. Talked about him opening day when he pinch hit. Stands very upright, doesn't take a long stride, and gets the barrel out. Gets the barrel out in front on fastballs as well as anybody on their team, with the exception perhaps of Cespedes. Kind of a nice split to have there if you want to platoon him.
And that's why he's in there for Duda tonight. Popped up, foul ground. Freddie on a flat out sprint will play. It's 1-2.
On that pitch, Flores just pivoted on the ball of his left foot. His front foot kind of turned his heel out, put it back down. I don't know that there was any stride at all. See, I saw that fastball in sign. I thought, okay, you better get it way in.
Yeah. Yep.
Because this guy can rake it.
I think Tyler wanted that pitch up as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Wilmer Flores. Cespedes with the lead at first. And good take, evens the count.
Key pitch here for Jaime. If he goes 3-2, he didn't make a good pitch 3-2 to Cespedes. If he's forced to throw a fastball to Flores 3-2. Sign is for a changeup. He does not run well with or without a hamstring injury. He's not a fast runner. Ground ball might get you 2.
Remember, he was the man that touched the plate on that Tyler Flowers play behind the plate. game 1. 2-2. 2-1 Mets lead it. We're in the 6th. Swing and a drive. That's hammered down the line. Did he keep it fair? He did. He may be slow of foot, but boy, he's got a quick bat, and he just showed you.
He's got an excellent trot. Down and in, breaking ball again. Wasn't down and in enough. Stayed up. He's gotten hurt on the curveball tonight. And he hooked it around the pole.
So the Mets extend the lead. It's now 4-1. And here is Curtis Granderson. First pitch swing and popped up. And 2 are out.
Is a very valuable part of the Mets team, whether he's an everyday player or not. Got to have guys like that if you want to go places.
2 in, 2 out, nobody aboard. Here's Walker. It was his base hit on an 0-2 pitch that led to the first 2 runs for the Mets in the 5th. That's foul by Walker. And Garcia a strike away from sending it to the 7th. The Braves will have Swanson, Freeman, and Kemp coming up. A missile past third. So Walker glides into second base. He's got a 2-hit night. So that's 2 hits for Walker behind in the count of the game. His first double. And the Mets aren't through here in the 6th inning.
That was a fastball that was delivered up where Tyler Flowers wanted it, but not up enough.
Now Chuck Hernandez will make his way to the mound as the Braves bullpen starts to stir. You've got Bruce in the batter's box. And the Mets in front by a 4-1 score.
No one was throwing in the bullpen, so this walk to the mound is to buy some time for someone to get ready quickly.
Don't forget to stay with us for Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. Chaz Rowe is the first man up and throwing in the Braves bullpen. Jerome Juretovich will have all the scores and highlights, analysis of our series-ending game with the Mets. Nice of Jerome to do his best Lindsey Nelson impression with his sport coat tonight. Nice checkered pattern for Jerome.
Nice.
Since we're broadcasting from New York.
Now Lindsey, the late great Lindsey, had a wide array.
A walk and a run for Bruce. And a strike. had some great broadcasters here in the early days of the Mets. Bob Murphy, Lindsey Nelson, Ralph Kiner. Popped him up. And Nick will retreat in right. That ball's going to carry out toward the track. And that is going to retire the side. A 2-run homer for Wilmer Flores extends the Mets lead, but the Braves have the right guys coming up in the 7th. Dansby Swanson will get things started in Game 3 against the Mets. Georgia drives Chevy.
Matt Kemp continues his hot ways for the Braves with a home run tonight. Matt Harvey gave up that homer, but that's the only run he's allowed. Travis d'Arnaud is driven into Wilmer Flores, as you just saw, a 2-run homer to pad the lead for Harvey going into the 7th.
It's only a guess, but I would guess that the Mets really didn't know what to expect from Matt Harvey tonight. I would think through 6 innings, 66 pitches, 47 strikes, 1 run allowed, no walks allowed, that they are thrilled.
Great pitch count through this, very economical. Syndergaard finished his day after 6 innings with a blister. DeGrom was pushing 100 pitches, I think, when he finished the 6th inning last night.
And this is why the Mets have such great potential. I know you've talked about it a lot in the division. If their big 3 can pitch like they have in this series, that would be awfully tough for any team to overcome Terry Collins' club.
And I think that's what these fans here expect from these guys. They know how good they are.
And remember, they're without Matz. Lugo's knocked out a little bit. They're getting Zach Wheeler back. Oh boy, the early returns extremely encouraging for the New York starting staff. Did he go? Yes, he did. Check swing strikeout of Dansby Swanson, who's 0 for 3, and that's how the 7th inning starts. 3rd strikeout for Harvey.
That was that slider that Paul Bird was talking about earlier. Started it at the outside corner, broke just enough off the plate to get him to check swing.
The other thing that Terry Collins said was that there was no concern with Matt Harvey with regards to the weather, and it was going to be cold or rainy. They say that physically Matt is more than fine. They weren't worried about the elbow or the shoulder or any of that stuff. It was simply a matter of how he was going to perform. Well, he's into the 7th inning, something that rarely happened for him last year, as you saw. And with the big lead, now the Mets bullpen can start to work.
His fastball is good enough. It's not what it once was, but he's not relying on it 100%. He's locating it, and he's using it in spots just to show it, to keep you honest with 93, because his slider and his changeup have also been very good.
Yeah, I think he's pitched tonight.
Yes, much more so than we're used to seeing.
He just struck out Freddie Freeman, and if this is his final inning, he is trying to finish with a flourish. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 out.
Fastball. Got it by him.
Here's the only man to score for the Braves tonight. Matt Kemp with a tape measure home run led off the 5th.
Yeah, he's letting it go, isn't he?
Yep. Listen to the fans.
Swing and a drive, belted down the line. Another no-doubter off the facade of the second deck. Woo.
He was trying to finish with a flourish, and he was trying, after throwing the ball by Freddie, he thought he'd just keep doing that to Matt Kemp too. Started to pitch, stopped, regrouped, went to a fastball 94, went about 444. That was coming right back to him, and a no-doubter off the facade.
We're going to have to drag Matt Kemp's kicking and screaming to the bus, send the airplane to Pittsburgh after a huge couple of nights here in New York. And Terry Collins is on his way to the mound. That's the last pitch thrown by Matt Harvey, who came back and pitched great. Has brought the lumber. He brought it again tonight. The lumber feature presented by Yellowwood.
They were no doubters. And folks, this first one went over the back wall that was the permanent wall here when they first built this stadium. And then they had to move them in, move the fences in. And this one, staying inside the baseball barrel to the ball and off the facing of the second deck.
Matt has scored both Braves runs tonight. Matt Harvey finally leaves after 77 pitches. And Jerry Blevins will come on and face Nick Markakis.
Boy, did he do a great job yesterday, coming in a tight spot, bases loaded, one out, and got out of it with no runs scored.
And a quick strike to Markakis, who has an infield hit and a strikeout. I liked what Matt Kemp said to Paul Byrd after the game yesterday about facing the Mets. You don't expect to come out and get 4 runs against their starting pitcher. You just got to keep it close and chip away and hope you have enough time left, if you're trailing, to get something done against the bullpen. They're down 2 runs. The Braves have 7 outs left. Levin's job end this inning right here. He's due to hit second in the New York 7th. And the count is 2-2.
Likes to throw that breaking ball to left-handed hitters, as you can see. Couldn't get Nick to chase that one with 2 strikes on him. Not overpowering. High 80s, low 90s, but a lot of breaking balls and change-ups.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Big sweeping breaking ball, and Nick is down swinging for the 8th time already in the first 3 games. Matt Kemp has a 2-homer night as we head to the 7th inning stretch. The Mets lead's been cut to 4-2. Welcome back to Citi Field as we continue our road to SunTrust Park, presented by Georgia Drives Chevy. Home 7th in New York. Glad you're with us tonight on Fox. 4-2. New York leads the Braves. A couple of homers for Atlanta left fielder Matt Kemp. And now Chaz Rowe takes over for Jaime Garcia, who allowed 4 runs in his first 6 innings as a Brave.
Chaz with good work last year for the Braves. Had a rude start to his season here Monday afternoon. Did not retire a batter. In fact, he only faced one, walked him, and he came around to score. So hold him right there.
Darno doubled in the 5th inning, brought home 2 runs. That gave the Mets a 2-1 lead. And Adonis at third, scoops it up. Oh, retires the Mets catcher on the very first pitch of the inning. 1 out. And Michael Conforto grabs a bat. He'll hit for Blevins. So Blevins did his job. He retired Nick Markakis. And now Conforto hits with bases empty.
Interesting to see who Terry Collins goes to finish these last 2 innings. That hit him?
I guess so.
Fooled me because Conforto was in no hurry to leave.
Yep.
Back of the foot. Now, Robles has been kind of his go-to guy as a setup man for what is closing now, Addison Reed, but Robles was very ineffective last night, so we'll see who it is.
Remember, the Mets are without Juris Familia. He's got to miss 12 more games, I believe it is. Is it 15 games or 15 days?
Games.
So he's got to miss 12 more games serving his suspension for domestic violence in the offseason. There's Reyes hitting left-handed, whacks one up the middle and into center field. So more trouble brewing for the Braves here. Mets have 2 on, 1 out. And as Asdrubal Cabrera's coming up, Jose Reyes with his first hit of the year.
Snaps an 0 for 12.
Cabrera 0 for 3. And you think about all the thunder the Mets have in this lineup with Cespedes and Granderson and Duda. You overlook this guy at your own peril. He had 23 homers last year. And at this point, very small sample size, has made all the plays at shortstop and is sitting in a great spot to hit right in front of Cespedes.
And he's going to get his share of RBIs. We already talked about his power. Take care of some of that on his own.
That caught a corner. And the count to Cabrera. 0-2. Jaime Garcia started for the Braves. 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, couple of walks, no strikeouts. And as my partner mentioned, a couple of curveballs cost him dearly in the game tonight. Matt Kemp's hit 2 homers for Atlanta. Matt Harvey with a very successful return to rotation for the Mets. 2 runs over 6 2/3 innings. The only blemishes, the 2 tape measure homers by that man, Matt Kemp. An opposite field hit by Cabrera. Here comes Conforto around third. He will score without a throw. A hit batsman and 2 singles extends the Mets lead to 5-2.
Saw Dansby Swanson behind Conforto at second base, kind of bird dogging him to try to hold him close. So he was cheated up the middle. You can see way up the middle. And Cabrera took advantage of that big hole on the left side.
So rough inning for Chaz Rowe. Mets have scored in each of the last 3 innings. 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 1 here in the 7th. And now Cespedes with a 1 for 2 night and a run scored. A chance to do serious damage for New York. Little chopper hit toward Freddie. He had him played perfectly. One at second. Rowe covered the bag, dropped the ball, and Reyes will come home and score. Freeman had Cespedes played perfectly. And Chas got to the first base bag in time to beat Cespedes, but could not hang on, and the Mets get a gift 6th run.
Yeah, that was a catchable ball. It was a little wide, but hit him in the glove and dropped it. Can't assume a double play, but that's one of those where you don't have to assume a double play, but the fact that the runner scored was a result of the drop ball.
So Wilmer Flores is the Mets hitter. He too's had a big night. A long 2-run homer to left. That figures to be a nice little platoon for Terry Collins with Lucas Duda and Wilmer Flores in against left-handed pitchers. Terry Collins has done a heck of a job here with the Mets. The official scoring on the Cespedes play is a force out of Cabrera. No RBI, and they're going to charge Dansby Swanson with a throwing error. I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
That one might be reviewed. As Flores awaits a 1-1 pitch that skipped up there, and Flowers caught it. Two balls and a strike. And that's out of play. 2-2. We'll join you in Pittsburgh tomorrow afternoon, 12:30 with Braves Live. Kelsey Wingert will join Joe and me for our first broadcast from PNC Park. Mike Foltynewicz and Ivan Nova will square off in the first game of the series against the Buccos. And a swing and a miss will retire the side. New York adds a couple more runs in the 7th inning. The trouble began with a hit batsman. A throwing error also scored a run for New York. And as we get set to go to the 8th inning, New York leads Game 3 by a score of 6-2. Big story for the Braves tonight took place before the first pitch of the night. Ryan Howard, long a tormentor of Braves pitching as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies, didn't have a team this year. And today the Braves, Joe, signed Ryan Howard to a minor league deal to see if Ryan has anything left offensively. And it appeared, as you mentioned in our opening comments, the second half showed he might have a little left.
Yeah, 13 homers, 32 RBIs in 45 games. We know how good he has been. All-Star appearances, MVP in 2006, Rookie of the Year, and as I think torment is probably a mild way of putting what he's done to the Braves over the years. So a no-risk type of exploration here. He's going to go down to Florida and will be at extended spring training to get in shape, get some swings, and then probably go to Gwinnett for a while, and then they'll see what happens.
Yeah, we understand Ryan's moved to the Atlanta area too, so he'll have a chance to work out at AAA level and be at home. And look, Ryan Howard's not going to replace Freddie Freeman.
No.
But we did ask Freddie Freeman his thoughts on adding a player potentially of the caliber and impact of Ryan Howard today.
I definitely like the news of the signing of Ryan Howard. It's a big left-handed bat coming off the bench. If he can, get here, it's we saw what he did in the second half. I think he had like a 930 OPS, and it's a bat coming off the bench that we don't have right now. So if he can get here and, you know, prove that he can do it, I mean, we'll gladly welcome him.
I think the Braves would indeed welcome a home run threat off the bench, assuming, of course, Ryan Howard can come all the way back.
You need to have some guy that the opposing manager is setting up his bullpen to avoid. Don't want a guy like Ryan Howard coming in up with a chance to hit a home run, 2 or 3 run homer late in the ball game that would be a difference maker. And that fear is not being put in opposing managers right now by the Braves bench, because with all due respect, none of those guys really have that much power.
Paul, your thoughts on the Ryan Howard signing today?
Yeah, I thought it was great. And in talking to Snit, you know, the important thing that I took away, apart from the obvious, which Freddie Freeman mentioned, was what kind of person he is. He got to know him at some events in the off season. He was excited that everybody in the locker room was looking forward to him coming in. And again, it's not just about the player, but the right kind of people that the Braves are bringing in to create a good environment.
So we'll look forward to seeing what Ryan Howard has working as Atlanta goes to work here in the 8th inning and tries to come back from a 6-2 deficit to the Mets. Fernando Salas, the next pitcher for the Mets. Phillips, Garcia, and Flowers coming up. Remember, Brandon started the night with a 35-game road hitting streak against the Mets in his big league career. That streak might be on the line in this 8th inning at bat. And it may have just gone by the boards on a swinging strikeout. 6 Braves hitters have struck out in the game. First for Salas, 1 away in the 8th.
Anytime you play the Mets, you figure you're going to rack up a few strikeouts. 12-inning game last night. 12 strikeouts in that one.
23 strikeouts for the Mets staff in the first 2 games. The last time they had 2 games to start the year with double-digit strikeouts was way back in 1967. And they had a few pretty good pitchers back in 1967 here in New York. Ball 1, strike 1 for Adonis Garcia, who's 0 for 2 in tonight's game.
Fastball. Salas worked an inning yesterday, pitched around an error, got a double play ball.
Sharply hit up the middle for Garcia, a 1-out single for the Braves third baseman.
He deserved that. Boy, he hit the ball hard a couple of times tonight. Line drive to center, line drive to first.
Flowers 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out short.
If you were with us last night, we talked about Salas and how his breaking ball is a knuckle curve.
Whistled past first, but it's now 0-2. Off the pitcher's glove. Salas can't find it. And by the time he does, Flowers beats the Rap at first. So there's a break. That'll be an infield hit. And the Braves have some 8th inning life. 2 on, 1 out. And Emilio Bonifacio is going to stand in.
Here's one of those spots. Talking about Ryan Howard. This would be an ideal spot for Ryan Howard, if things work out, for him to come off the bench and have a chance to get the Braves back in the game.
Well, Emilio can hit a home run, but it might have to be an inside the park home run. In fact, 8 years ago today, Bonifacio hit an opening day inside the park home run. First player to do that since Carl Yastrzemski in 1968, when he was a member of the Marlins. So let's see what Bonifacio can do. 2 on, 1 out, with Inciarte lurking on deck. A strike.
Look, it's not that the other fellows aren't capable. Chase, Jace, Emilio, Anthony Recker, Kurt Suzuki, they've all hit home runs in the big leagues. Just that none of them has hit as much regularity as Ryan Howard.
Remember when the Phillies were really, really good? They had 2 left-handed pinch hitters on their bench, and they had 2 different styles of hitting. They had Greg Dobbs, who could hit home runs, but he was just a
line drive guy.
Line drive, and then they had Matt Stairs, and you knew what Matt Stairs was trying to do with each and every swing. Bonifacio stays alive, 0-2. Miami just tied the Nationals with a run in the 9th inning. That game's now 3-3 at Nationals Park.
Question marks about that Nationals bullpen.
Nothing in 2. Darno couldn't hang on. Giants are in Arizona tonight. Giants blew a 3-run lead in Arizona yesterday. Robbie Ray and Jeff Samardzija will be the pitchers in the desert. One ball, 2 strikes. Little pop. And Cespedes comes galloping in and makes the play. He looked kind of like one of those rumble ponies when he when he brought that one in for the second out. So back to the top of the order. It's Ender Inciarte, who's 0 for 12 in this series. 2 on, 2 outs. One more base runner and things get a lot more interesting. Braves are down 4. They have 4 outs left. Good changeup.
This guy pitched really well for the Mets at the end of last season. He's in there tonight. Not Robles, even though last inning when they got 2 more runs kind of put some distance between themselves and the Braves. He was already up, loosening up in what would have been a setup for a close, for a save, I should say.
One ball, 2 strikes. Broken bat, bounce towards short. Tricky spin. Ball dropped by Cabrera. So indeed the Braves do bring the tying run to the plate. A broken bat. Bloop off the bat of Ender Inciarte. Loads him up for Dansby Swanson.
And they'll score at a base hit. Ender will take that for his first hit of the year. Had a lot of spin on it. And couldn't come up with it cleanly. Generous scoring. Keep it going. Get on, get Freddie up there.
He's grounded out, popped out, and struck out on a check swing in the 7th.
Good swing. A little late, but a good swing. Now you got to fight. Good pitch, good waist pitch up.
Dansby's choked up as he gets ready for a 1-2 count. Struck him out with a fastball at 92 miles an hour. And Salas strands the bases loaded in the Atlanta 8th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is sponsored by Delta Airlines, Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Georgia Drive Chevy.
To SunTrust Park. Welcome back to Citi Field as we continue our road to SunTrust Park, presented by Georgia Drives Chevy. Well, Braves had a shot a moment ago. Bases loaded, couldn't come through with a run-scoring hit. They're down 4 now, and Eric O'Flaherty makes his second appearance as he faces the Mets here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, he too will try to atone for opening day. Third of an inning, 3 walks, 2 runs. That was the bad 7th inning in which the Mets scored all 6 of their runs on opening day.
Eric made the club with a terrific spring. As we told you on opening day, he had a medical reason, which to his credit said wasn't the only reason he struggled so mightily the last couple of years. But he had a whole career's worth of scar tissue that built up on the nerve in his pitching elbow. He couldn't get extension, he couldn't get full feeling in his fingers. And he underwent a 2.5-hour procedure to actually clean that scar tissue off the nerve. And once that procedure was finished, all of a sudden Eric said he had that extra inch of extension, which made all the difference in the world with the sink on his fastball and the velocity on his fastball. And voila, here he is again.
Well, they got that one out of the way on Monday.
Popped up. And Ender makes the play. 4 out, number 1.
We know Flaherty's better than what he did on Monday, and he's not a guy who typically has that kind of control issue.
Neil Walker picked up his first 2 hits of the season tonight. He began the year 0 for 9 at the plate. Singled off Jaime Garcia on an 0-2 pitch in the 5th. After a walk and a d'Arnaud double, the Mets took a 2-1 lead. Walker also had a 2-base hit in the 6th. And that's taken down low. Ball 1. Dodgers won today, 10-2 over San Diego. Yasiel Puig hit his first homer yesterday in a 3-1 victory for Los Angeles.
Was he batting 8th?
I think he was. Cubs beat the Cardinals today 6-4. Kyle Schwarber hit a long home run for the Cubs this afternoon.
Yeah, the Cardinals led that game 3-0.
That's poked over the Mets dugout, foul by Walker. 1-2.
They got 3 off Lackey in the first inning, and obviously it wasn't enough.
Colorado beat Milwaukee 2-1. A lot of folks made Colorado a sexy pick in the National League West with much improved young pitching. We got Story and Arenado on the left side of the infield. They added Ian Desmond to play first base. But Joe, I can't think of a club that was derailed by injuries more this spring than Colorado. I mean, every day it seemed one of their regular players got hurt,
including Desmond, who was going to play first base for them. They should get him back pretty soon, but in the meantime, they've got to kind of piecemeal things together. They have a new manager too, in Bud Black.
And as we told you earlier, the Reds beat the Phillies by a 7-4 score. The Phillies will host the Mets tomorrow. And strike 3. O'Flaherty freezes Walker. Your Braves are back. Make sure you join us for opening week, Friday, April 14th through Thursday, April 20th, to be part of the opening series during the inaugural season at SunTrust Park. Go to Braves.com/tickets and get your seats today. I had that backwards. I had it wrong. I beg your pardon. The Mets have the Marlins, not the Phillies. As this one's skied, foul by Bruce. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, the Mets do, though, play 32 straight divisional games to start the year. And they lead this divisional game against the Braves by a 6-2 score in Game 3. Pitch number 12 for Eric with 2 outs. good one.
Yeah, good breaking ball, and it was down.
Looking ahead to the ninth, Freeman, Kemp, and Markakis are coming up for the Braves. Two outs, nobody aboard for Jay Bruce.
Three straight breaking balls. Swung at the one that was down. Thought they might go to a fastball away just to see if he'd try to protect the plate. They're going to try that now.
Ooh, tried to freeze him with a fastball, didn't get it. Good velocity, 93. But the count's now full.
That was one thing that Eric said about the surgery. He thought that it would free his release up enough where he could get a couple of miles an hour back that he had lost.
Broken bat, and Freeman dives to his right, makes the play as the bat sails over his head and into shallow right field. So a good inning for Eric O'Flaherty. Last call for the Braves in the ninth, trailing 6-2. Opening day just for you on Sunday, April 16th. There'll be special activities and prizes just for kids, and the first chance to run the bases at SunTrust Park after the game. Go to Braves.com/tickets today for more details. This is Addison Reed, the acting closer for New York. And he has the middle of the Braves order to contend with and a 4-run ninth inning lead.
He looked very sharp last night. Tie ball game. A 1-2-3 inning to the bottom of the order, including a strikeout. And as we told you last night, he's been here and done this before. He's been a closer in the past. He's racked up a lot of saves with the White Sox and Diamondbacks. Low to mid-90s fastball and a slider.
So the inning starts with first baseman Freddie Freeman. Freddie 0 for 3 with a strikeout tonight. As it stands now, Harvey and Garcia are the pitchers of record. First pitch swing and skied toward left. Cespedes back. One pitch and one out. And the man of the hour for the Braves has been Matt Kemp tonight. 2 long home runs.
2 long homers after 3 doubles last night. both of the home runs off Harvey, but the Mets have to be thrilled with what they saw from Harvey tonight.
Quick strike. Last night, Matt had his second career 3-double game. Roughly 1,400 major league games. A 2-homer game tonight. Can he hit a third and bring the Braves a run closer? Matt has hit 2 homers in a major league game 11 times, including tonight. He's not yet at a 3-homer game. Tipped at the plate.
Stayed alive. And again, Reed will vary his delivery with nobody on base. He works out of the stretch, but sometimes he'll come set and hold the ball. Sometimes he'll kind of blend right into a windup, almost a slide step delivery to try to catch you off guard.
Swing and a miss. Kemp is retired, and 2 are out in the top of the 9th inning. Join us for the Dogwood Festival this weekend. Experience the taste of SunTrust Park's food trailers, life-sized bobbleheads of all Braves Hall of Famers, and get a special ticket offer just for attending. It will be a great way to prepare for opening weekend. Join us and see us this weekend at the Dogwood Festival at beautiful Piedmont Park. Markakis, the final hope for the Braves, with a 1-for-3 night. Grounded toward first, diving stop Flores. Reed to the bag, and he just beat Markakis, and the Mets just beat the Braves in Game 3 of the series. 6-2 the final score. Travis d'Arnaud a 2-run double. Wilmer Flores with a 2-run homer. And Matt Harvey wins his first game for the Mets since last May 30th. New York takes 2 out of 3 from the Braves in 2 hours and 28 minutes. We'll recap it further for you right after this.
Atlanta Braves baseball is sponsored by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.